Hi everyone, Chris here from Organic Health, and today we're talking about a topic that keeps many people up at night: money. This might be one of the most important topics we've ever dealt with, and that money affects every area of our lives. It affects our health, it affects our relationships, it even affects the schools we can send our kids to. We are very lucky to have Nicolette Quinn with us today. Nicolette is a money coach and investment advisor with over 20 years industry experience, and that now she teaches women how to get savvy about money so they can make smart, confident decisions to take care of themselves and their families. Nicolette, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks very much for the invite, it's lovely.
Nicolette, just to start things off, what first sparked your interest in money?
Probably is a bit strange, but I'm not actually interested in money at all. What I'm more interested in is actually the impact that it has on people's lives. So, I mean, just as you said, it actually impacts every aspect of our lives. It's kind of this pervasive force that we have. You know, when I ask people how do they feel about money, they'll often describe like a physical symptom. They'll be like, it gives me a knot in my stomach, or I feel this weight on my chest or my shoulders. And other people will actually say that they'll describe it in terms of how it impacts their relationships, particularly family relationships. And then still others actually, it's very much wrapped up into their self-worth and success. So that's what kind of interests me very much about money. And what there is there's no real education around there about money. We can't even talk about it. I mean, our culture just says it's like, no, don't go there. So I think that's what really sparked my interest. And I mean, I'm really comfortable with money, both in terms of my relationship with it, as well as actually how to manage it effectively. And I kind of think these are the skills I'm put on this earth to share with you.
Awesome. And you've worked as a chartered accountant at top companies like the Woolworths Group and investment analyst at top performing asset management companies. What prompted you to start your own business?
I really don't like the financial industry much at all. You know, nothing about it really resonated with me, and I just felt like so much in the financial industry was either driven by sort of fear to try and induce you to buy products, or greed. But I kind of knew enough to actually suss out what was going on behind the scenes and all of this in the industry. And I got really angry, like red in the face, proper angry. And I suppose they always say to you is like, if you find something that really fires you up, then you know what your purpose is. And the words of wisdom actually came from my husband. He said, well, either you're going to become an activist, or you're going to choose to channel this energy in a positive direction and educate people, help them through education so that they can, you know, see this for themselves and figure out what's going on. So thankfully I chose the latter path, and yeah, here I am today.
Now you're working as a money coach. Can you describe what your work as a money coach involves?
I've really got sort of three things that I try to, skills that I try and share with people or teach them. And the first one is to really understand how you behave around money and why, and to realize that you can actually change that if needed, if you wish to. And the second skill I try and teach people is how to plan. So, you know, we're all faced with these like day-to-day trade-offs, you know, spending versus saving, as well as figuring out like what happens with these sort of, you know, do I need life insurance, or all of these things like day-to-day money management. And then the third skill that I try and teach people is about how to navigate the investment world. And it really is much simpler than people think. So I think, you know, my thinking behind that is like, if you can master those three skills, actually you're empowered to look after yourself. So
brilliant.
That's what I do.
And then on to another topic, how do we get our beliefs about money?
The interesting thing is that most of the beliefs around money are actually influenced during our formative years. So as kids, there's stories, there's anecdotes, there's behavior we observe around money, and that's what's sitting in our subconscious mind and is making us operate like we're on autopilot completely. It's like, yeah, we think we're like making a rational decision, like trade off the pros and cons, but actually there's something else, that this gut instinct that's actually driving things, even though we're probably not like to admit it. You know, there's two skills around trying to observe these money beliefs. So the first one comes from like trying to have a deep sense of awareness of yourself now. Like, why did you do that? How did you interact in this conversation about money, or your behavior, like spending, saving, or taking a deep, hard look at yourself and thinking, why did I do that? Like, if that's my behavior, what does it mean about what I think about money? And another thing that also helps people sort of prompt back there is to go to an early money memory. So if I asked you, like, what's the first money memory that you have? And often there's like a pivotal one that actually has a huge impact on people's lives. You know, people have recalled to me, like, yes, I had this picture of my mother and she was trying to pay the bills on a monthly basis and she was in tears. And there's this like sense of scarcity and not being able to. And so whenever they think about money, that's actually that feeling they have. And often we actually emulate our parents' relationship with money. It kind of takes two routes. Either you go that way or you do the complete opposite way. And really it's like starting to sort of question those beliefs and say, is this for me?
What are the most common limiting beliefs you see that people have about money?
What I quite often see is that people are quite dismissive of money in a way that they've almost seen it have a bad impact on their families or relationships. And as a result, they kind of have a real negativity. It's like, get away from me. Like, I don't want to be that, and I don't want to have that because I've seen the destruction caused by money. So they kind of have this sort of evilness attached to it. And with that, abundance is kind of difficult to generate in your life. And I think the second one that I quite often see is that scarcity mindset of never enough. And then what keeps people like on this treadmill of turning things is like, never enough, never gonna have enough. Gotta keep going, going.
What could we do to release those limiting beliefs we have about money?
I mean, it's important to remember that a belief is something that you've said yes to. So you really need to start off by first identifying the beliefs and then start to say no to them. You have to actually, physically say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to believe that. And really consciously reject that belief in your life. The next step forward is reprogramming. So essentially you can actually have the ability to reprogram your subconscious mind because you decide what you want your beliefs to be. And there's some interesting neuroscience actually behind that. A book that I quite often refer to in that space is called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. I don't know if you've heard of it, by Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Okay.
And it actually goes into almost the science behind how you can change your beliefs and your life. So I kind of use his work as the basis in that of reprogramming the subconscious mind.
And once we've released those limiting beliefs, what do we do next?
I always call it sort of my approach to dealing with money in terms of coaching and helping people. It's like an inside-out approach. And that's why I kind of start off with this money relationship, because some people arrive here and they're basically like, can you just tell me like what to invest in and what to buy? And then when I kind of go down the track of your money relationship, they sort of look at me, and usually by week 2 they're coming back to me. It's like, I get it, I so get it. Because we can't actually change any of our behavior before figuring out the inside stuff first. So I kind of started with, as you said, changing your behavior or like getting on top of your money beliefs and behavior. The second key is onto how do we actually make these trade-offs of saving and investing? How do we manage our day-to-day stuff? You can call it a budget, you can call it whatever you want. But how do I do these trade-offs? Like, how do I figure out the motivation and all the stuff that I need to do so that I can make a decision now? So my step 2 is really in that space.
And saving is a big topic for people. What can we do to stay disciplined when it comes to saving? Any tips?
Absolutely. And that's save first, then spend. And it's actually got like this remarkable impact. And I'll talk a little bit about the neuroscience about it afterwards, but what it does is actually if you save your money first, and like a debit order is your friend here, you're really freed up to enjoy your spending. It's like, the saving is not like a decision you make at the end of the month. It's like you save now, it's done, don't have to think about it, and you can have a great time. And really the neuroscience behind it is that we actually have a limited decision-making capacity. So you make the decision once about how much you're going to save, and you set up the debit order. And you don't have to waste decisions on the ongoing basis all the time of like this trade-off of things, because the saving is done. So it's like, wow, free, I can like save and stuff, I can have a great time on what's left with the peace of mind that the saving is done.
Investing is another big topic. Any tips to help simplify investing?
The single most important decision to actually get right when it comes to investing is the types of assets that you've actually invested in. So let me illustrate that with an example. It's very easy to have like cash in the bank and we feel all warm and fuzzy and safe because it's there, but cash only just earns interest of like maybe inflation, maybe a bit less. So, the value of it actually stays still. As opposed to investing like share investing, where yes, there's not a whole lot of certainty, but like over the long term, it actually has the potential to grow. So in the South African market, it's taken you about 15 years to double the value of cash, whereas historically it's only taken between 4 and 5 years to double your money in the stock exchange. It really is trying to get the right mix of assets between capital protection and capital growth right for what you want to achieve. So to kind of know what you want to achieve, have some goals, and then know what it is that you need from your investments. It's not that difficult.
And finally, if you could leave no money behind, just a set of financial principles, what would those be?
I really think there's only sort of 2 things that I would want to instill in people. And the first one is to welcome abundance into your life in all forms that it takes. And the second one is that it is simple. And you are smart. Ask questions, ask questions, ask questions until you're happy with the answer. And if it doesn't make sense or it's too complex, you're not the problem. It is. So, yeah, ask those questions away.
Awesome. Nicolette, thanks so much for those brilliant insight and tips. And for everyone watching, we'll put a link directly below this video to Nicolette's website where you can connect with her if you'd like to get your money life sorted, so you can make smart, confident decisions to take care of yourself and your family. And Nicolette also has an amazing online course, a 6-week online course coming up called the Get Savvy School, which you can find out more details about that on her website. So just go to her website and look for the Get Savvy School and you'll find it there. So that's it for this week, guys. Some great tips and insights on how to make money simple. Thank you so much, Nicolette, for joining us.
Thank you.
And we'll see you again next time.